At the time I'm recording this, I have an episode of Persona 3 Reload editing. No, rendering. I know how to English. Shut up. I'm stupid. I mean, what? Ah! Anyway. Okay, so last episode we got to witness the Ayase route, currently sitting as one of my favorite ones, aside from like maybe one moment that I still kind of like, there's not really much I can say. It was, how the hell do I put this? It felt like it had just that little bit more hope to it. It's kind of similar to how Yua's ending went, in a way. I don't know. At least that's kind of what it felt like. But, once again, a really excellent, comment from Time Axis here. So, I don't think the point is her being isolated due to seeing the world differently from everyone else. I think the point is that everyone sees the world differently from each other, with hers just being one of 8.2 billion different normals. It's impossible to say which is real. All you can do is come together with other people and compare notes, so to speak. So it's by finally connecting with Takumi that she is able to see the world the way he does. Rather than being healed or fixed, it's just that their own realities have happened to become the same. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's because whenever I was reading it, I took a little too literally, like, oh shit, this is the world that she's seeing. Good God, that is depressing. That is horrifying. No wonder she went crazy. Like, that was a bit of a screw up on my part, let's be perfectly honest. Also, look at that. Like, you can actually see, like, the different routes. Sun and Moon, Daydream, a contract of blood to seal our sin. That is still that is a metal title. Anyway, no, I'll just say, I liked Ayase. Like, currently, in the rankings, it's Ayase, Yua, Crying Sky. No. Silent Sky, Crying Sky, and then Daydream. Like, right now, nothing's I think the Nanami route is still going to be, like, the lowest of the low, just because of how it ended. But that doesn't mean I'm trashing it completely, because there was still a little bit of good that did come from that ending. Especially with the conversation that it can start. Alright, now, it looks like the next one we're doing is the Kozupii route, which looks like its starting point is Chapter 3, Kozupii. I'm wondering, that's going to be interesting how the hell that one's going to be. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I'm a little bit scared for Kozupii because of how Takumi is. Although, come to think of it, I mean, possibly she might kill him, maybe? Would be. Actually, come to think of it, she might be able to protect herself from him, I think. Possibly. Anyway, there we go. Alright, so this one needs to be positive. Oh, wait a minute, I just realized, I don't think I've done the oh, no, here we go. Wouldn't it be nice if the transfer student were some holy messenger sent here to protect me and slay the demon? Whoever Rimi was, I had no doubt she was dangerous. My life was being eroded, and I knew that for a fact. Unless things changed, I'd be a dead man walking. Uh-huh. Suddenly the transfer student turned her gaze toward me and whispered that. Okay, so we know that this is a delusion because she's actually talking out loud. Which we know that's not her gimmick. No way. Could she be here to help me? Wait a minute, we're having this happen during a delusion? Okay. Yes. This transfer student must be a professional exorcist. Yes. She acts frail, but that's all it is. An act. Yes. She must be here to kill Rimi! Yes? And then the last one should be no. The two of them should just kill each other. No.
たくみくん、私はここに殺すために来ました。悪魔を滅ぼします。
Alright, so we unlocked her route. Also, what? I'm here for blood. The demon girl is my— oh my god. Even though the transfer student's eyes were welling with tears, they were also filled with determination. Despite her timid appearance, I felt like I could trust her. There was no doubt that from an outsider's perspective, her words are blatantly nonsensical. I was the only person in the sea of confused people who wasn't perplexed by her first words. In fact, I was screaming for joy. Internally, of course. I'm saved! No doubt an exorcist organization sent this girl to dispose of Rimi. Fuck yeah! Kill that bitch! Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it, what is with you, dude? Rimi's panicked voice rang from behind me.
その転校生の狙いは私じゃない。タクだよ。その子の言うことを聞いちゃダメ。悪魔さん、惑わすのはやめなさい。あなたはここで終わりです。
Yeah, this is just another one of his this is probably just a plot of blood tune going off in his head right now.
悪魔はあなたでしょ。うるさいな。
Right now, I didn't care who the real demon was, nor who my real ally was.
僕はブラチューと演奏をして毎日を平穏に過ごせればそれでいいんだ。お前たちがどうなろうか知ったことじゃない。とりあえず二人で殺し合ってくれると助かる。で、相打ちで二人とも死亡ってエンディングを希望。
What the hell? What is— your delusions are so fucked up, dude. Following those words, I could feel a rising unease spread throughout the room. A transfer student whose name I didn't know, and a demon girl who had only been in this class since the day before yesterday. Each glaring daggers at each other from their own separate corners of the room. The tension between them burning like a fuse, trailing toward a pack of TNT. The homeroom teacher and the rest of the students were on the edge of their seats watching intently as the events unfolded.
いいよ。タクの言う通りにしてあげる。私も異論はないです。
何?
殺してあげろ。暗殺者。あなたを殺します、悪魔さん。
And then they both sprang into action. Oh, good lord. Of course, something like that would never actually happen. The transfer student remained as sheepish as ever, not uttering so much as a peep. Rimi also didn't say a word. In fact, she didn't give me an indication that she was here at all. The scattered whispers grew to murmurs as the transfer student maintained her silence. So, in order to comfort her, the teacher placed his hand on her shoulder.
どうやら折原は緊張しているようだな。よし、挨拶はいい。みんな、この子は折原梢だ。仲良くしてやってくれ。折原、席は一番後ろだ。席についていいぞ。
The transfer student made her way to the back without saying a word, keeping her head low to the ground. And then we're gonna see her... I almost said... oh my god, my brain... oh, I was like... and then we're gonna see her on an airbay. This ain't DSE, right, damn it! This isn't peak! I mean, this is still good, by the way. I just realized what I said. That was very rude to people that like Chaos Head. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna shut up. Her seat was 4 rows behind mine. Should I pretend to watch her so I could catch a glimpse of the people behind me? Problem was that I'd draw a lot of unwanted attention to myself. I didn't want any DQNs trying to pick a fight. All, don't go staring at her just because she's cute, or some BS like that. I was at a loss for what to do. Should I look now, or should I wait until class is over? My head still firmly pressed against my desk, I squeezed my fists tightly. Forget it, I was a coward. Just the thought that if I turned around, my eyes would meet with that girl's sent shivers down my spine.
その人って
Huh?
悪い人なの？だったらね、本当に殺してあげてもいいよ。
You know, the funny thing is that, like, baddie has an entirely different connotation in this day and age. The transfer student walked right by my seat. Taken aback, I glanced at her face. Our eyes met, only for her to immediately avert her gaze and continue walking. What was that voice? No doubt it had been just another one of my delusions. I've been feeling overwhelmed by them lately, almost as if reality and delusion were blending together. Still lacking the courage to turn around, my body stiffened even further, squeezing inward in my seat. I tried to focus on staying completely still, desperately trying to avoid drawing Rimi's attention. Oh, wow. Interesting. So this time whenever she walked by, we didn't see her D-sword manifest. Fascinating. All right. Here we go. As the final class ended, the stuffiness of the school day gave way to a restful afternoon. Oh, okay. Alone, Orihara Kozue plodded her way out through the front gate. As she walked, her lazed motions and lowered head highlighted her frailty. With her knit eyebrows and muddled expression, it seemed as if she were holding back tears. Having just transferred schools, Kozue felt isolated from her peers. However, that was only natural for her. She would would never speak. Even when called on by a teacher to solve a problem or read from a book, she would just fidget in her seat, tears welling in her eyes. Not a single person in the school had ever heard her voice, neither student nor teacher. Kozue constructed walls between herself and them, and those made curious by the novelty of a transfer student were quick to drift away. Even then, one or two inquisitive classmates were still determined to speak with her, but she had no desire to open her heart to them. Still, she never felt that her situation was particularly urgent. Even though it was only one person, she did have a friend. An older girl who was not in her class. Given that Kozue was new in town, the girl was the only person in all of Tokyo that she could confide in. Other than that, she felt she did not need to make friends. She did not need to get along with her classmates. All she really wanted was to continue living her quiet life. On this evening in Shoto Park, one could hear the sounds of children playing alongside the pond's bank. A boy happened to pass right by Kozue on a trail along the waterside. In his hand, he held a petite mirror that displayed the face of its owner. Two housewives, likely the mothers of the children at play, were chatting on a bench. Kozue could hear their voices clearly.
三面鏡の怪奇ビデオっていうのがものすごく怖いのよ。
A trifold mirror?
あら、そうなの？私それ知らないわ。でも三面鏡って？
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't a trifold mirror? Oh, God, what is it? It's kind of like one of the ones that they got for, Fuck, what are they called? Damn it, I can literally picture it in my head. Like, I'm just like, Damn it, I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called, but if I remember, I'm going to put a picture of what I'm thinking of what it is up on the screen.
ほらあれよ、鏡3つ並んでるやつ。
Yeah, it is what I think it is. But I didn't realize they made them small to where you could carry them.
ああ、鏡ね、三面鏡。それでどんな怪奇ビデオなの？
Kozue stopped dead in her tracks near the bench. Her forehead became sickeningly slick with sweat. The women put their talk on pause, glancing questioningly at the odd girl before them. Suddenly becoming aware of herself, Kozue rushed away from the park. Which makes me wonder, I'm wondering if her, D-sword actually is just a gigantic mirror. I always thought it was like a gigantic slab blade of sorts, but now that I'm thinking about the way it looks, Maybe it's a mirror. And maybe that's, I mean, the reason I'm saying that now is just because this whole focus on mirrors. Mirrors. For Kozue, they were a source of great psychological trauma. Uh-oh. Not wanting to recall the past, she frantically fought to keep the memories from flooding her mind. She told herself that she was overthinking it, and again continued walking toward the station. As she approached the front of Bunkamachi, her eyes were assailed by light. A glaring and radiant light. Kozue shivered in fear. So many times in the past she had been assaulted like this. By reflections in the mirror. Her mind overflowed with panic, unable to hold down her nightmarish past any longer. Was it a coincidence? Or was she being targeted? She looked all around, praying it was just a misunderstanding. A short distance away, a white station wagon came to a stop. A man leaned out of the driver's window. In his hand was a mirror. He seemed to be adjusting its angle. See, now this is interesting. Her trauma is a mirror. Why? Does it have something to do with her reflection? Does it have something to do with her witnessing something horrific from the angle of a mirror? I wonder. The light struck Kozue's eyes again and again. Frightened, she raised her hands to block the light, dashing across the pedestrian scramble in order to escape. Oh! Reflected light? Her mind ran rampant with terror and disorder. She wanted to get home as quickly as possible. She did not want to be here. Tears streamed down her face. It has to be a coincidence. She desperately repeated these words to herself, wiping away the tears with her fingers. Just then, light assailed her eyes once again. Its glare dazzled her, violently piercing her gaze. The car from earlier had followed her. This time only the driver's arm protruded from the window, and in his hand, he still held that very same mirror. Snapping out of her trance, she put everything she had into running for the station. She bumped into numerous pedestrians while pushing through the crowd. The fear kept her moving, paying no mind at all to all the mockery and insults sent her way. Upon arriving at the station, she turned around, only to find the white car stopped at a traffic light at Scramble Crossing. Kozue hid under the shadow of the Hachiko statue, huddling in place with bated breath, struggling to comprehend all that had happened. In her head, the same phrase repeated like a broken record. It's just a coincidence, 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 it's just a coincidence. Startled by the voice, she lifted her head. A man, seemingly a college student, stood by the Hachiko statue as if waiting for someone. He stood alone, his back turned to Kozue, and spoke into the phone pressed against his ear. His voice echoed in her head. That sailor suit was so hot it was on fire? That sailor suit was so hot it was on fire? The man did not turn toward her. The phone remained against his ear. He seemed to be listening to whoever was speaking on the other end. However, not once did the man chime in or nod. He simply stood there, still as could be. Oh, I'm suddenly hearing the sailors. Oh, God. Wait a minute. What if this is a similar tactic that Bon and Yua went through during that first route, where where Bon was actively being harassed? My Bride from the Seashore. Yep, it is. The voice echoed once again. She could not understand how or why, but the man was speaking of things related to her painful past. She began to tremble. It frightened her to even so much as look at the man. She slowly crouched down on the spot, covering her ears. It's all a coincidence. This is all one big coincidence. She continued silently chanting this to herself. As she sat there, crouching in place, an hour passed. Many people had passed by, but none had tried to speak to her. When she finally managed to timidly raise her head, she found that the man was long gone. It might be a potential harassment campaign like Bon and Yua. Well, actually, I guess Bon went through. The reason I'm saying that, by the way, is... Well, we saw it earlier when Kozupii was first introduced that that they were apparently moving to a new area. This kind of tells me that maybe she's been followed for some time in her life, which is why she's potentially on the move. That's my assumption. Like she's a character that's constantly on the move. She's running from something. Maybe it's involving with the people that are involved is why she suffered this sort of trauma. And maybe they have some sort of connection with the Noah project. I mean, she has a D sword, which means she's, one of the people that are possibly needed for this sort of thing, for the Noah project. Like they might need her code sample. So maybe Sua is actually kind of in the background, intentionally harassing her. Who knows? Maybe he was the one that was on the phone that was harassing her, possibly. Oh. Okay, so this is right at the moment where we got our asses kicked by those, not our ass kicked, but, those three guys that were targeting us.
There was little indication that there were any people present in the back alley of Sek-ai. The breathing of a girl, Orihara Kozue, could faintly be heard resounding through it. Whoa! She cradled a gargantuan sword. Or perhaps it was not a sword. Its unique shape brought its identity into question. It was more akin to a snowboard. The sharpness of the blade could not compare to one, however. Its surface was stiff, and it exuded a brutish aura. Wielded against another person, it could slice through them with ease, all while grinding every bone in their body to dust. Maroon blood trickled down the blade, clinging to its edges. A young man in front of Kozupii attempted to crawl away. Despite the puddles of filthy water, he tried desperately to get even a little bit farther away from her. Kozue's face held a brilliant grin as she stared at the man. There was no trace of her usual cowering, timid personality. She was enjoying herself. Her cheeks were flushed, perhaps from excitement. The sword in her hand had been used on 2 others before the man, and it had been a remorseless bloodbath.
Kozupi's not gonna kill you, but baddies need to be punished.
The faces of the vulgar young men were bloodied and swollen. Until only moments ago, they had been tormenting Kozue's classmate, Nishijo Takumi. She had heard the voices of their hearts by chance. Multiple boorish voices had wrenched their way into her head as she was passing by. Piece of shit, don't look down on me, you Espa freak. Die! I'll beat you to death, you little shit!
Pathetic. I'll whoop your ass, fucking die, Espa. Shut your goddamn mouth. Fuck, I'm so pissed off I'm gonna end ya.
That stupid bitch gave me the cold shoulder. This is revenge, fucker. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't... this novel's never gonna be monetized. That's why I haven't put ads on any single episode lately.
Go on, hell, fucking die already, you fake fucking Esper. The hell is it take to kill you, you fuck? Just die!
This shit's just what I was told to do to this shit get the money. Oh! This shit's just what I was told to do. Do this shit, get the money.
I'll make a shit ton of money. I fuck him up. I get money. I want money. I beat him down to shit. I'll fucking kill you, kid. I'm gonna slaughter you. I'll tear you to pieces. Christ, it feels good beating people to a pulp. There's nothing fucking better, I swear. It's like I'm fucking high or something.
For real, this is fucking fantastic. I don't give a shit about the world. There's nobody who can fucking stop me.
The police won't do shit, my old boss won't do shit, my fucking mom won't do shit. Either nobody but me is on the fucking top. There ain't nobody better than me at the top of the fucking world. Bitch, stay still so I can kick the shit out of you. Holy shit, I'm awesome.
I want to kill them.
From the cluster of voices formed by perverse hearts, a single voice of rage and hatred rose above.
Oh, it's Takumi. That was Takumi's voice. I want to kill them. Recognizing the heart's outcry as Takumi's, Kozue had come running to where he was. And she had then attacked the bad men. One more person, and justice would be dealt. The threat to Nishijo, Takumi, and herself would be eliminated. For that reason, Kozue refused to let the young man crawl away. There would be no escape.
I take it back. I'm sorry. I'll die. I'm gonna die. You fucking kill me. I'll die. I'll die. I don't want to die. It's not fair. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'm gonna fucking die. I got to spill it. I don't want to fucking die. I want to keep living. I want to live a good life. I want to tell someone I wanted to do.
The young man's heart frantically pleaded for mercy.
Kozue's wide smile did not fade. She gripped him by the back of the head, grabbing a fistful of hair, and forced him upright. She accomplished this despite the immense disparity in their physical appearances. Lacking the willpower to resist, tears welled up in his eyes as he begged for mercy from the innocent little girl.
I'm sorry, did we suddenly swap to Higurashi or something? What the hell? Kozue's answer was a swift denial, but it was not one she voiced aloud. She simply mouthed the word one letter at a time with her small mouth.
N-O.
Lifting it above her head, the gargantuan sword roared as it approached the man. With one blow, his jaw was pulverized. His shrieks reverberated throughout the alley. The man was blown away, then collapsed in a heap. Blood would have spattered all over Kozue's clothes, but she used her blade to shield herself, allowing her to avoid such an event entirely. With a nod of satisfaction, Kozue erased her sword. She then glimpsed at Nishijo Takumi, who was collapsed in the corner of the alleyway. Breathing loudly, her heart murmured.
Kozupii wanted to kill them for you, but Kozupii's gonna stop here.
Holy shit! Oh my god, okay. Oh, this opens up so many conversations here. Okay, so here's my thought process. So, my guess for her, she was a victim of abuse. Usually tormenting, physical, that sort of thing. Usually what happens is, usually victims, now, this is just my personal read on this. As a victim of abuse, she felt incredibly powerless. Unfortunately, because she was not able to get the help that she was needing, she broke, thus awakening her as a gigalomaniac. And once she gained that sort of power, it was like a switch was, like a sort of, not, this is not split personality, by the way. This is more like a sort of switch was flipped. Now, she can still be her demure little self. However, she now has the power to prevent others from taking advantage or do anything or abuse her. Now, usually what happens is whenever somebody has endured an abuse for a sort of long time and they felt powerless for... That's the key word today here. Powerless. That sense of powerlessness. And then when she gained this ability to summon her D-Sword, that triggered something in her to where I'm going to never be powerless again. So she ends up, it's like repeating the cycle of abuse, basically. How sometimes an abuser's victim, they unfortunately have a chance to become an abuser themselves. It's what's referred to as the cycle of abuse. So maybe that's what we're seeing with her right now. Where we have her... We basically witness both sides of her, both true selves of her. There's the Kozupii who's just trying to live a life, and then there's the Kozupii who has power. The one who refuses to be taken advantage of. The one who can fight back. And she takes a she takes a sort of glee. She takes glee from this. That's what I'm getting out of this. Anyway. Yeah, I stand by that. Hey, yo, hold up. Let's get that line read again real quick. Or not. Guess I'm not going to get that line read, okay.
Before Shinsen Station, Orihara Kozue stood petrified. Over the past several days, she had been going back home from here rather than Shibuya Station. All because of the white car that had been following her. And today the white car appeared once more. As if waiting for someone, it was parked in front of the station. Stricken by this, Kozue froze dead in her tracks. The passenger side window slowly began to roll down before stopping nearly halfway. Suddenly, the hand of the passenger emerged from the opening. Within their palm, a handheld mirror was clutched tightly. Yeah, that's probably Sua if I had to guess. Through her eyes, it felt almost as if they were taunting her. Goading her. The raw terror alone made her feel as if she may stop breathing at any moment. Refusing to wait even a moment longer, Kozue whipped around and took off running. Focused entirely on her attempt to get away, she had no capacity to maintain proper footing, and scraping her knees many times as she sprinted. Upon reaching Miyashita Park, she took refuge on a bench and continued trembling well into the night. However, she could not afford to embrace her knees forever. Despite her fears, Kozue decided it was finally time to make her way back to Shibuya Station. But when she reached it, it was parked there too. The exact same car from before.
You know, adding on to my conversation about her, like, being a victim of sorts because of the abuse angle and the cycle of abuse and shit like that, I think another reason that kind of fucks with her head a little bit is that she can't stop hearing the voices, the inner voices of people. That would really fuck somebody up too. Like, if you could read minds, but you don't know how to fucking, like, you don't know how to turn it off, that would drive anybody insane.
Though she had no destination in mind, she bolted once again. Tears poured down her cheeks with no end. Doubt was all that filled her mind. Who could possibly be in that white car? Clearly Sua. What could they possibly hope to gain by harassing her? When she came to her senses, she realized that she had found her way back to Shinsen Station.
Given that the car had been at this very station earlier, the last thing she wanted was to return to it. Taking her chances, she entered an unfamiliar narrow alley. Due to the lack of street lights, the area was incredibly dim, something that only served to magnify the already intense dread in Kozue's heart. But at this point, Kozue was already drained. She did not have the energy to continue running. Wiping away her tears, she kept up her desperate struggle, stumbling every other step of the way. And right when she thought she was about to hit the main road, the white car passed right in front of her. Kozue was shocked by its sudden appearance. It then traveled approximately 50 meters away from Kozue before stopping on the shoulder of the road. Its hazard lights flickered to life. Yeah, that's definitely Sua. She lost all willpower to run. No matter where she ran, they would always find her. As if it were reading her mind, the car would always anticipate where she would be. Sinking to the ground, she cradled her head in her arms. Within her heart, she cried out for salvation. But in the end, not a soul came to her rescue. Even as Kozue began to stagger away in a fit of tears, the vehicle remained parked, and to the very end, whoever was inside made no attempt to show themselves. This girl needs therapy. Yo!
Hey, Neidhart-kun, I've been waiting for you because there's been another new gen.
What are you even on about?
New gen, dude. What the fuck do you think I'm on about?
How exactly do we go from new gen to new gen?
New generation, new gen, new gen, new gen. Come on, that shit's obvious. Use common sense for fuck's sake. More importantly, there's a seventh case.
The seventh case. It happened again. Another new gen. How long is this damn thing gonna go on for? Was I next? Would I be the victim of the 8th case, the 9th? Anxiety aside, Grim was pretty much the new gen news guy at this point. He'd been keeping me in the loop about basically everything. Even now, he's going out of his way to link a bunch of blog posts and news articles about it. Seemed like he really wanted me to take a look. Is it gonna be the same thing again? Biting my lip, I reluctantly clicked the first link. Yeah, it's the DQN puzzle. The return of the DQN puzzle! Ooh!
今日午前4時50分頃、東京都渋谷区の線路沿いで男性3人の他殺死体が鉄柱に吊り下げられているのを通りかかった新聞販売員の男性が発見しました。警察の調べによりますと、殺されたのはいずれも渋谷区に住む無職藤田康平さん、大学生の安沢三郎さん、とび職の高木亮さんの3人です。3人とも胴体の部分が切断され、それぞれの上半身と下半身が別々に入れ替えられて糸で縫合されていました。3人の額にはそれぞれ謎の傷がつけられており、警察では犯人からのメッセージではないかとみて調べています。渋谷では2ヶ月ほど前から猟奇殺人事件が頻発しており、警察では今回の事件も同一犯による犯行の可能性が高いとみて捜査を続けています。
Oh boy, time to go to sleep. It's been a bad day. At the end of the news clip, photographs of the 3 victims were shown. I had seen those faces before. I've gone through this dialogue before.
昨日僕に絡んできた。
God, it's deja vu. I've been to this place before. I'd given them my wallet, but they'd kicked my ass anyway. I'd then fallen unconscious, and when I woke up, Kozupii was beside me. 3 of the men collapsed on the ground, covered in blood. I dug my wallet out from my pocket and stared at it intently. When I came to, Kozupii had been carrying it, and she'd given it back to me soon after. Well, we know well, no, it wasn't her, it was Sua. Could the person who killed those 3 be? No, definitely not. The last time I'd seen them, they'd been beaten to a pulp and covered in blood, but they hadn't been cut in half or anything.
which means they'd been killed after Kozupii and I had left. It had to have been Shogun. The wrinkly asshole was trying to provoke me. Damn, he really was committed to driving me insane. I wonder how many times I'm gonna read this. Just how far was he willing to go? I wanted to vomit. I clutched my stomach as it churned in pain. Was I next? Would I be next to die? It was also possible that Shogun could show up in person again. He seemed to be playing with me like it was some kind of game after all. Maybe he'd feel like sending me on another quest soon. Just the thought alone terrified me. I tried to grasp my D-sword, but even that was just to protect myself from him. Without that sword, how could I ever hope to escape his evil clutches? I felt like he was holding a knife straight to my throat, like he was saying, I can kill you whenever I please. Please let me go. What had I done to deserve this? I couldn't take it anymore! Someone save me. Please. Rimi, where did you go? Weren't you supposed to protect me? No, I couldn't rely on Rimi anymore. I had even gone to school today just to see her, but she hadn't been there. Almost like she was never there to begin with. So, I had to find someone else. Someone else who I could rely on to protect me. And the first person that came to mind was...
最近渋谷はますます物騒だよ。昨日も怖そうなゴキゴキ男たちに拉致されそうになっちゃったからドカドカドカーンってしてやったのら。
The fact she refers to those three... Wait a minute. Some cocky roaches tried to get me.
She crash, then bang, beat them up. I'm assuming that maybe...
No, that was yesterday, so... Literally cockroaches, probably.
Kozupii. She was as far removed from normal as could be, and also a pretty big idiot, but because of that, something told me that if I had to depend on her, she might actually hear me out.
Okay, here's where we get some bigger differences.
Upon entering the classroom, I looked toward Rimi's seat. There was no one there. Next, I looked over at Kozupi's desk. She was in her seat, face down and huddled up. Hello. Morning, Kozupii. I didn't make eye contact, but I greeted her with my inner voice. The female DQNs are watching me, smirking. It was no different than yesterday. They'd all already labeled me as that otaku freak who said he was psychic and made an ass of himself on TV, and that label wasn't going away anytime soon. The male DQNs didn't seem to have arrived yet, but it was pretty common for them to skip first period, and that was fine by me. Misumi-kun merely tossed a glance in my direction, not caring enough to greet me. All ties between us were pretty much gone at this point. And then again, it was already pretty strange that he and I had ever been friends at all. Taking a seat, I pretended to fall asleep, and then I called out with my mind. Kozupii, can you hear me? I need your help. If I don't get help fast, someone's going to kill me. I didn't tell you I was going to kill you yet. What? Yeah, that's why I want you to protect me. You can use your D-sword. What? What? Oof! Exposed. Sorry.
それにコズピーはね、誰でもドカパキってするわけじゃないよ。あのね、コズピーはコズピーに悪いことしようとする人だけ。
I'm a little scared to go further. There's a certain way Kozupii hurts all the baddies who try to hurt her. I'm a little scared. Yeah, that's about how I expected that to go.
Okay, does everyone around me think I'm stupid? What is this? I'm just a poor innocent otaku who hadn't done anything wrong. All I want is to just shut myself inside my base and spend the rest of my life in there. I swear to God, it's like everyone around me is screwing with me. Everything. Oh, what the hell? What did I do to deserve this? I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good person. DQNs, they're the bad ones, and Shogun too. Please, Kozupii, I need your help. Protect me from them. You even said it yourself the other day. Those cockroaches that say all those horrible things to me. They're even more worthless than I am.
言ったかもかも。でもね、コズピーはその将軍さんって人知らないよ。
I know him all too well. He's this kid that looks like an old man, and he rides around in a wheelchair, and one day, he's going to show up out of the blue and kill me right then and there. He's the one who stole Nanami away.
そっか。たくみさん、大変なのね。
Your way of speaking concerns me.
What? Is that really all you have to say?
殺したいけど、殺しちゃダメってセナさんに言われてるなら。
That shit. Even Kozupii was on better terms with Senna than I was. With my head still down on my desk, I gritted my teeth and clenched my fists. What do I do? There's no one I can turn to except Kozupii. Senna kinda scares me, and even if she didn't, I doubt she'd have any interest in helping the likes of me.
We'll find that out whenever we start her route, which I think is next. Like, I think the only other characters that are left for us to explore their routes are Senna and Rini. Because we already taken care of Nanami and Ayase. So that just kind of leaves... Yeah, just kind of leaves those guys.
The only one I could rely on was Kozupii. The school bell rang, bringing the day to a close, and me straight out of the classroom. Just like always, the class's token DQNs were making fun of me for the whole Esper debacle. Just today alone, they'd already come after me at least 5 separate times. Seriously, didn't they have anything better to do? Could bullies like them only get their kicks from picking on others? The hell was wrong with normies? And people thought they were actually human? Don't make me laugh. Shutting myself in my base to play ESO, immersing myself in dazzling delusions with Seiritan, that was what made me happy. Very happy. God, I was so pissed off. So pissed off, in fact, that I'd been doing nothing but cursing out those DQN fucks inside my head the entire way home. Ugh. I felt Kozupii poke my shoulder from behind a few times. Probably for the best. Do you really have any interest in protecting me? A present? A present? For me? Huh, look at me. I think I just raised a flag.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be another thing, Takumi. You can't hide anything from her.
Oh, it's nothing. Okay. Somewhere nice and relaxing. Oh god.